Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, I'm Ava, and I love diving into awesome resources from around the world, then breaking them down for you in a way that's easy to follow. Today's video is super special, as it can open up some strategies to improve our career and our personal life. So, the big question today is, can you get rich without relying on luck? This idea comes from Naval Ravikant, an awesome Indian-American entrepreneur and millionaire, who shares a cool formula in his book called Productize Yourself. It's like a roadmap to help us find our unique talents in this modern world, talents that give our lives meaning, and turn them into a way to build wealth, all without needing luck. I've read his book and watched a 3-hour video on his channel about this, and I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what I've learned. Here's the deal. If you're new here, stick around. This concept of self-productization is something a lot of people are doing these days, consciously or not, and it's working for them. I hope it'll be a game changer for you too. Right off the bat, I want to share 2 key points that'll light the way as we go through this video and unpack this self-productization idea. These are like your guiding stars to keep you on track. First off, Naval makes it clear, there's no quick way to get rich fast. So if you came here hoping I'd drop some secret coin tip or a weird shortcut to millions, this video might not be your thing. He explains that the whole point of building wealth is doing something others can't or won't put the effort to do. If it were easy for everyone to get rich or achieve big things, society wouldn't move forward. Things would just fall apart. That's the first big takeaway. Now, the second point is the natural follow-up. If we're not here to show you a fast track to riches, what are we doing? Throughout this video, we're going to explore how to find a path in life that feels right for you, something you feel connected to, something you're meant to do. We'll figure out how to make that path meaningful, feel like you're doing something valuable, and then turn it into a way to create wealth. That's the heart of self-productization, turning yourself into a product, and that's what we're diving into today. Naval has this killer quote in English that sums up everything we're about to cover. I'll share it and break it down for you. He says, making money is about expressing your true self. In simple terms, he's saying that if you stay authentic, really true to yourself, your inner desires, and who you are, the best path to attracting wealth will open up for you, and that's the core idea we'll unpack as we go. To break down self-productization, let's split it into 2 parts and tackle them step by step. First, let's talk about the self part. When we say self in this context, we mean you, me and you watching this right now. We all have some one-of-a-kind traits that make up this self. The most important one, our unique existence. Basically, your story, your name, where you were born, the experiences you've had, your culture, the things you've done and what you've learned, combined with your genetics, makes you the only you in the whole world. That's huge. We don't always stop to think about how special that is. Naval talks about 2 ways people pick their careers or talents. One is listening to your inner voice, and the other is tuning into outside noises. Listening to outside noises means looking around, seeing what others are doing, and jumping on the bandwagon. Like you notice everyone's opening cafes and think, oh, cafe life must be the way to go. Naval says that's a mistake. If you're just following what's trending or what others are doing, you're starting off on the wrong foot. Instead, he says, listen to your inner voice. Figure out what feels natural to you, based on your unique journey, those experiences only you have. What's something you can do that doesn't even feel like work to you, but feels like a chore to others? What are you naturally drawn to that others don't care about as much? Keep that in mind. He also points out that in the past, it wasn't easy to turn your personal passions into big money. But now, in this modern world, you can. If you chase what truly matters to you and use the methods we'll cover later, you can make good money from it. His advice is sit down, write out what really matters to you, then create a mix, a blend of those things. He says the knowledge that will bring you income, add value to your life, and give it meaning is the unique knowledge that comes from combining different pieces of yourself. Let me explain that. There's a big misunderstanding we often have. When we see someone successful, like a great architect, we might think, Oh, they went to university, aced their classes, worked hard on projects, graduated at the top, and used that exact knowledge to become famous and rich. But in real life, it's a bit different. That architect might have succeeded not just because of their architecture skills, but because they blended them with other interests like music, painting, or even learning other languages. That mix, combining their main skill with other passions they've explored, creates a unique expertise that only they have. Since no one else has that exact life journey, that expertise can bring them value and income. Naval calls this specialized knowledge, and he says it comes from being an apprentice. Here's the thing. Our education systems have a flaw. Lots of people learn the same stuff in the same classes, maybe 20, 30, or even a million others are studying the same thing. You're not gaining anything extra, and that shared knowledge won't set you apart enough to make a big impact or earn big money. The key is having something others don't. Naval says the best way to build that specialized knowledge is by apprenticing, finding someone you admire in the field you love and learning directly from them. You'll pick up unique insights you won't find in a classroom. He even has a famous line, "Specialized knowledge is always learned, never taught." Cool, right? So far, we've covered that the self part is about your uniqueness, your specialized knowledge, and the third big piece, taking responsibility. This might be the heart of it. What does that mean? When you have this specialized knowledge and want to share it to make money, which we'll get to, you take ownership of it. You present it under your own name and stand by it. Naval explains that when you take responsibility in society, society rewards you. If someone's building a business with their own name, it shows they're in it for the long haul, not just a quick buck. People are more likely to trust them with their money or time. It's like saying, "I'm a learner. If I start something, it's my mission and I own it." That trust is gold. Now, Naval doesn't talk about this directly, but everything we've said about the self, uniqueness, specialized knowledge, and responsibility ties into personal branding. Look at the most successful people in any field. They've built their own personal brand. Take sports, for example. Cristiano Ronaldo might have more followers than entire leagues. Why? Because he spent years working on his craft with a long-term vision, turning himself into a brand. And here's a bonus. In today's world, personal brands aren't easily replaced by AI. There's a hot debate about which jobs AI will kill, but your personal brand, it's safe. Why? You can't just ask AI to mimic Ronaldo perfectly. Sure, you could generate a video, but it's still tied to his brand because you're using his name and identity. Naval stresses, work on your own name, your specialized knowledge, and let that build your brand. One of the coolest skills you can learn today is how to build your personal brand. I plan to make more videos on this, so stay tuned. But here's the biggest lesson for us. It's not about chasing views. It's about building your personal brand for the long game. For serious, genuine people who want to play it right, this benefits both you and society. Oh, and Naval has another great line about self that fits here. Skip competition by being yourself. Why compete? No one can be you better than you. There's a book called 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel that dives into this, and I'll make a video on that soon, so stay tuned. All right, we've covered the self part. Now, let's move to the productization side. When we say productization in this context, what do we mean? Naval explains that to build real wealth, the income you bring in has to blow your expenses out of the water, way more than you'd believe. The only way to do that is by having a product and getting it to tons of people who might buy it. And guess what? In this self-productization journey, that product is you, your specialized knowledge, which we've been talking about. Now we're going to figure out how to get that knowledge to lots of people. When we say productize, it's not just making 5 copies of something and giving it to 5 friends. That's not productization. It's about finding ways to reach a huge audience. Naval says we've never had a time like this before, where even if you're from a middle or lower income background, you can introduce your product to so many people. This is a first, and he encourages those groups to seize it. He brings up the concept of leverage, like when you use a small lever to move a big weight. A little effort turns into a big impact. So what kinds of leverage do we have today? If you haven't subscribed, please do and like this video if it helped. Naval lists a few types of leverage. One is labor, getting people to work for you. Another is capital, using money to amplify your impact. But the one we're focused on is the third kind. He talks about coding, like building a website once that keeps working without extra cost, social media, like how we're chatting right now, and though it's not in his book, but he's mentioned it lately, AI. He says, if you craft your specialized knowledge and use coding, social media, or AI to share it with tons of people, that's when self-productization happens. You're doing something that gives your life meaning, sharing your unique skills with a massive audience, and earning from it. Let me tell you why social media is such a big deal is. Gary Vee has a great point. This isn't just social media anymore, it's interest media. A few years ago, if you had a product, it only reached your followers. But now, with interest media, if you learn a skill, talk about something awesome, and know how to create interesting content, it can reach tons of people, regardless of how many followers you have.